This is the country that literally kicked the crap out of the British Empire in 1776. And now they're out here pretending we're suddenly ruled by a monarch again. Newsflash. That was the original No Kings protest. Muskets, cannons, powdered wigs. Not TikToks, virtue signaling screams, and pink cardboard signs. Their political compass is powered by social media trends and trauma therapy. So let's just call this what it is. It's rhetoric without reality. Here's the difference. We laugh and they cry. They can't handle losing the joke war, so they try and criminalize laughter. Welcome to Stay in the Fray podcast. I'm your host, Ryan. This is where headlines get hit hard, hypocrisy gets shredded, and the absurd are laughed at. If you want comfort, this isn't your place. If you want blunt and unfiltered, I'm your guy. Join me in the fray.
All you gotta do is just listen up.
All right, hey guys. I'm kind of in a pissed off mood, so I think this is going to work great. So you don't want to miss this one. These trolls, these people that are just the scum of the earth, that feel like they need to take time out of their day to make threats, to basically troll and take way too much of my attention. So just to let you know, that's kind of in the background, but I guess it all kind of applies to what I'm going to talk about tonight. I do have a cocktail with me to help, and don't make fun of the color. I have children, and when there's fucking juice all over the house, you take advantage and you pour some in some vodka. So let's get going. The No Kings bullshit. No Kings, really? That's the chant. The narrative that modern liberals are now going with is this idea that Trump wants to be a king, or that he's on his way to being a king. Are you sure you want to die on this hill? Are you sure you want to double down on this? Because it makes you look idiotic. And we're laughing. This is the country that literally kicked the crap out of the British Empire in 1776. And now they're out here pretending we're suddenly ruled by a monarch again. Newsflash. That was the original No Kings protest. Muskets, cannons, powdered wigs. Not TikToks, virtue signaling screams, and pink cardboard signs. These people now couldn't define monarchy if you bribed them with a pumpkin spice latte and a participation trophy. They're crying about tyranny on an iPhone made in China while live streaming their tantrum under protection of the First Amendment. If we actually had a king, you would not be dancing in the streets in your Che Guevara t-shirts. You'd be in jail cell for lèse majesté, wondering why your vegan I'm so mad. We don't do crowns here in this country. Get real. We do ballots. And our president was duly elected. Then, of course, the geniuses apply to me when I talk about kings and protest. Well, Britain has a king, and they can protest. Yeah, no shit, scholar. The king over there cuts ribbons and waves at parades. Parliament actually runs the show. The king is a mascot, not a monarch. Stop acting like you discovered political science because you saw The Crown on Netflix. The only coronation you people have is when your group chat finally agrees on a pronoun. Let's break this down. This is Stay in the Fray podcast. It is October 22nd, 2025. Let's roll. I actually tried to figure out what this so-called No Kings protest was really about. Big mistake. I thought maybe I'd missed some secret coronation where Trump popped out of a golden carriage shouting, "Long live me." Not so much. Turns out that the protest is actually about authoritarianism, the death of democracy, America turning into a monarchy, all these buzzwords and phrases that they get in their memos each morning. That's their slogan. Those are their slogans. No kings. You can almost hear the drum circle forming. But here's the thing. If you have to shout "no kings," that's a sign that you don't understand how any of this works. We've got elections. We've got term limits. We've got a press that foams at the mouth if Trump sneezes near a microphone. That's not tyranny. That's a Tuesday in the US. And just listen to what our president had to say in response to this No Kings gathering.
By the way, I'm not a king. I'm not a king. I work my ass off to make our country great. That's all it is. I'm not a king at all.
Simple, to the point. There's no name calling, no defensiveness. He just literally said, I'm not a king. I work my ass off for this country. And if there weren't so many people that supported him and he knew that, you almost kind of hear the, man, just nobody wants to, it's sad, but whatever. Somehow it's what set him off. The guy flat out denies being a monarch, and they say, see, that's what a dictator would say. You can't win with these people. Their political compass is powered by social media trends and trauma therapy. So let's just call this what it is. It's rhetoric without reality. They chant about saving democracy while ignoring the results of one. They warn us about crowns and thrones, but the only royal ceremony happening is the one in their heads. If you're shouting king, show me the royal decree. Show me the palace guards. Show me literally anything besides a crowd of unemployed art majors holding cardboard and crying about fake fascism. Here's the truth. This isn't a protest against power. It's a protest against losing power. No Kings is just the latest rebrand for we didn't get our way in 2024. Wah. And if that's the hill that they want to die on, then fine. But at least admit it. Stop pretending you're Paul fucking Revere riding around and just admit it. You know what's funny? Every time they pull one of these democracy in danger parades, the numbers magically grow by the hour. A couple thousand people in the morning somehow becomes hundreds of thousands by noon. And then by sunset, it's half of them, it's the same 12 people filmed from different angles. Suddenly the revolution sponsored by whoever rented the drone. So let's talk about that math problem. The headcount hype, the AstroTurf armies, and the miracle of protesters who multiply faster than government debt. The numbers, or at least the fantasy version of them. Depending on which outlet you read, there were hundreds of thousands, millions, or basically everyone in America except for you, out there yelling no kings. Here's the reality check. We've got 335 million people in this country. And sure, how about this? We'll take the best number, the highest, which I saw at about 7 million. That sounds massive. Until you remember that that's about 2% of the population. 2%. Statistically, that's a rounding error. More people watched the Friends reunion. So spare me the nationwide uprising narrative. This was a noisy fraction trying to cosplay as a revolution. 98% stayed home and either laughed at you or hung their heads in shame for aligning with you politically. Now the part that no one in corporate media touches, because it ruins the narrative. The crowd for hire game. You can literally go online and find agencies that specialize in supplying protesters. These people brag about it in interviews. They're paid to amplify social causes, which is PR speak for make it look organic, when it's really not. Go look. There's a lot of video evidence of this, and people admitting that they're paid to be out there. It's not a conspiracy, it's a business model. NGOs funnel money through activist grants, and out the other end comes professionally angry people holding whatever sign the sponsor of the week wants. If you want to argue about how much they're paid or how many of them are out there or which organization's cutting the check, fine. But pretending like it's not happening is like pretending Hollywood doesn't use extras in their movies. And that's exactly what these crowds are. Extras in a political commercial. Real movements don't need casting calls, per diems, or free box lunches. So when I hear these pundits say, the people have spoken, I have to ask, which people? The ones cashing the checks or the ones cashing in on the coverage? So why don't we talk about these people out there giving this circus a soundtrack? I get that some of these poor people really think they're being genuine out there. I understand that. They have been indoctrinated so badly that they likely think Trump's already wearing the crown. But there are a lot of trash humans. And it's funny how these protests tend to shine a light on them. You've probably seen this clip. the Chicago teacher Lucy Martinez from Nathan Hale Elementary. She's on camera grinning, making a gun-to-the-neck gesture, mocking the assassination of Charlie Kirk. In case you missed it, here it is quickly.
Hey!
As simple as that. I mean, it went on for a few more seconds as people are driving by. That's a teacher. Someone trusted to guide kids. The school's site went dark after the video blew up, and there's no public word on whether she's been terminated. Sure if the school makes the right decision. Either way, that's who's in the middle of this movement. That's the moral compass on display. And it wasn't just her either. How about this sign? Classy as ever. Which heals faster, Trump's ear or Erica's heart? In reference to Charlie's wife. Another said, I wish he hadn't turned his head. You read that right? People standing in the street joking about a presidential candidate's assassination. Except it's not really a joke. They genuinely mean they wish that he was dead. Here's the difference between them and me. Them and us. I despise when he was in office, Obama and his policies. I think he divided the country. He was the first one to do it with identity politics. We can argue that all you want at another time. That's not what this is about. Bottom line is, I didn't like the man. Had nothing to do with race either, so put that shit back in your pocket. I despised Biden. How about that? He was a disaster. And half the Democratic bench couldn't manage a lemonade stand. I would never wish them dead. That is the difference between opposition and obsession. One side argues, the other fantasizes about funerals. It's all absurd. Trash humans. And it doesn't stop with cardboard. Here's a video of a man in Chicago yelling into a mic, telling people to get a gun and shoot ICE agents. Roll this, boys.
You gotta grab a gun! We gotta turn around the guns on this fascist system! These ICE agents gotta get shot and wiped out!
Turn the guns on the fascist system. I'm waiting for all of you to catch up with that, with the irony of this fucking idiot. That is not free speech, by the way. That is incitement 101. And somehow the same politicians, Crockett and AOC, they keep insisting that we're the ones driving the violence. It's unreal. Show me something like this anywhere. I'll show you 50 of them today from the left. Show me from the right. Show me anything where people are sitting there in a park yelling through a megaphone to kill somebody. It's no longer funny. It's no longer just, oh, the left's being crazy again. I don't want to live with it. No one wants to live with it. You're fading. By the way, there was another separate arrest in New York. A guy charged after threatening to firebomb federal agents during the same protests. Spare me the mostly peaceful and it had both sides routine. When the soundtrack of your rally includes threats, you're not marching for democracy. You're auditioning for a mugshot. And good. I need to chuckle a little bit. So just to make sure we all understand how serious this revolution is to them, here come the dance numbers. Watch this. Look at this dude on the right. Good God. It goes on for a while, believe it or not. They're having a good time, but that's all you needed to see. Look, I love a good laugh, but watching lefties twerk for democracy doesn't exactly scream power to the people. You may be having fun dancing like dorks, but it doesn't change a single law, fix a single problem, or win a single vote. It just proves the point. This whole movement is more performance art than it is a protest. It's a waste of fucking time. I want to talk about the meltdown on the left over some brilliant video clips. Because apparently, humor is now a threat to national security. If one side is going to invent a fictional issue to protest, then our president and vice president can 100% make up some videos to counter it while we all laugh at you. First up, we've all seen it. I'm going to play it again. Trump's AI fighter jet clip. In case you haven't seen it, roll this, guys. Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, I think there's a little bit more to it, but you get the point. And, you know, Kenny Loggins is all bent out of shape because we used his song. And shut up, Kenny. You're lucky that Top Gun chose your song or you'd be nothing. So deal with it. It's funny. The man, President Trump, posts a joke video of himself piloting an F-16, dropping digital sludge. Some think it's feces. Some say dirt. You decide. But dropping it on pundits like Harry Sisson, that guy, and the rest of the professional crybabies. And the left reacts like he actually launched and he's dropping bombs. Never seen it. This is satire. It's pixels. The only thing it bombed was their sense of humor. Then JD Vance drops his Hail to the King video. It is awesome. Let's watch this one. Brilliant. So brilliant. Avenged Sevenfold blaring, by the way. I love that band. I always have. So please don't come out and get all mad that JD used you. But I love that song. A7X, as they're known, was blaring. Trump in slow-mo. Pelosi and Schumer kneeling at the end. Art. Pure internet poetry. The right laughs. The memes fly. And then the comment sections light up. Meanwhile, the usual suspects start demanding congressional investigations into Photoshop. Here's the difference. We laugh and they cry. They can't handle losing the joke war, so they try and criminalize laughter. AI memes aren't coups. They're jokes with a render queue. These are the same moral referees who faint over a CGI fighter jet and had zero problem when Kathy Griffin proudly posed with a fake severed Trump head. That was called performance art. Just the other day, I saw a despicable statue mock-up of Charlie Kirk, water spurting from a hole in the neck. Satire to them, I suppose. But an AI video of Trump dropping digital mud? Oh no. Spare me the pearl clutching about tone from the same crowd that cheered that Griffin photo. Can you people really not see the difference? We call for accountability of people murdering people. And you're demanding accountability about a fucking AI video? What's the matter with you? What actually deserves outrage? Real images of violence, real calls for it? The same people pretending to defend civility, or the ones still refusing to condemn threats against Trump, his family, or anyone on the right. They'll write essays about accountability for a meme, but stay silent when an activist screams into a mic about shooting federal agents. The hypocrisy is not subtle. It's the whole show for these people. So no, I do not want to lecture on decency from people who turned blood imagery into fashion and now melt down over a looping AI clip. Fuck you. When your outrage depends on who's in the picture, it's not morality, it's marketing. Let's look real quickly at what happened last week. Grok, an AI chatbot, claimed, we all know, with Twitter, X, claimed that MSNBC used old 2017 footage to show the Boston protests. Then, a wave of fact checks hit saying the footage was actually current. So who's right? It depends on which headline you clicked first. Which AI do you believe? Which fact check do you believe? Can one of those have an agenda? This is media fog. Every outlet wants a hero and a villain before the facts are even cold. So when these protests break out, the coverage is less about what happened and more about how dramatic they can make it look. They inflate crowd shots, pick the loudest sound bites, crop the empty streets. It's emotional framing sold as journalism. And that distortion feeds the same mob mindset we've seen on the ground. People act on feelings, not fact. The tragedy is that the fog itself becomes the story. The left screams disinformation while their own side pumps out half-truths to keep the outrage rolling. Nobody walks away informed, just angrier. And angrier, in their world, is the product. After watching this whole thing play out last weekend, no kings, all the bullshit, all the aftermath, the horribly behaved crowds, I should add, the fake numbers, the media recycling of bullshit, you start to realize it's not just about one weekend of no kings. It's been the same pattern every time the left loses. These absurd protests just shine a spotlight on it. They've turned politics into a football game where one team loses badly, and then they demand the league change the outcome. Every play the other team runs the rest of the way through, they cry for a flag. Every roster move the team makes, they scream corruption. Every touchdown, it's a conspiracy. But now it's past whining. It's dangerous. They're so angry about losing that they'll burn down the stadium just to keep the scoreboard from lighting up again. They'll twist the rules, the refs, even reality itself, if it means pretending that they didn't lose. Here is the truth. The whistle already blew. The score's on the board. The country saw it. The rest is just tantrum time. You don't fix a loss by torching the field. You fix it by playing better next season. Until then, spare the rest of us the outrage theater. We've got real problems to solve. And their team's still screaming at the replay booth. I'm fatigued by it all. The noise, the lies, and the endless tantrums. And I know so many of you guys are too. So stick with me here. Let's do this thing. It's a great spot to vent, to listen to somebody who's like-minded, and to be reminded that reality still exists. So share this with one person, somebody that you think wants or needs to hear it. So stay smart, stay humble, stay brave, stay in the fray. Love you guys.
All you gotta do is just listen up.